guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my July beauty favorites try on style, which means that I'm going to be doing a full face using all of my favorites for the month of July. I am so excited to be back on camera. It's honestly been like about a week and a half since I filmed and sat down. I decided to take a little bit of a break after I came back from my trip to Nashville. I did have a pre-recorded video, so I was like, let me just put this up. But now it's all gonna be fresh new content. I also have my Nashville vlog going up this weekend, so you guys just have a lot of fun stuff coming. I'm so happy that I took this little mini break. I feel like for so long I've been just busting out these videos and working my ass off to grow my channel as much as I can. And I feel like sometimes you just need to like just come back a little bit and then just get back on track. So I'm so recharged, I'm ready, and I can't wait to bring you guys along for a lot of new content. I have a lot of fun, exciting things happening. But I want to start off today with my favorites because we have a good amount of favorites that I really have been so obsessed with. So without further ado, if you want to see how I beat this face to the gauze with my current favorites, then please go ahead and continue watching. The first thing we're going to go ahead and start off with is our lip balm. So I've been obsessed with this lip balm. It's the KOPARI Lip Glossy. And whenever I'm not wearing the lip color that I'm going to use at the end of me doing my full face, I'm wearing this. You guys know that during the summertime, you just kind of want to wear things that are super like simple and natural just because you're going more so for that natural makeup look. And I found that this one quickly became one of my favorites. It keeps my lips very nice and moisturized. And I've just been such a fan. So I'm gonna apply this all over, and I like it because it kind of gives you like a glossy consistency. It's not like too chapsticky. So I like to apply this as I'm doing my makeup because I feel like it preps my lips for the actual lip color that I'm going to be using. You can find that at Ulta, and you can also find it in Sephora's. So the next step I like to do is use moisturizer. So I have a newfound moisturizer that I've been obsessed with, and I mentioned this in my video where I tried some new makeup. This is the Bliss What a Melon Water Jelly Hydrator, which is excellent for people that have combination skin. I do have oily skin, but lately it's been a little bit more combination just because my cheeks have been a little bit more on the dry side. It's been more so my T-zone that has been very oily. So I wanted to just try something new. You guys know that I'm obsessed with my First Aid Beauty one, but whenever I do like a full face of makeup, I've been really liking this because it has like that jelly-like consistency. And what I like to do is I like to apply this all over my face before I start off with any of my makeup. And I feel like it gives a lot of time for the skin to get very nice and hydrated. So I find that this is like amazing, and it smells like watermelons, and I'm just like, this is such a summer staple. And it has not irritated my skin. You guys know that I'm very sensitive, and I tread very lightly when it comes to any products that I apply on my face for skincare because of my rosacea. But this has quickly become a favorite moisturizer for me. So now we're gonna move on to our eye makeup. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys some new products. But first I'm gonna go ahead and prep my eyes. You guys know how I prep my eyes, so I'm not even going to discuss that. So now that I've prepped my eyes, I do wanna go in and just set them. I find that this has helped a lot during the summer because my crease do fold. I need to make sure that I use a setting powder and really set that. I know some people are against it because they feel like it affects their pigmentation. But for me, I've honestly have not noticed a difference in that. I feel like if anything, when I set my eyes with powder after I apply the base, it allows the colors to look more pigmented. I don't know if it's just maybe on me, but that's just how it's been for me. And I've noticed the difference because one time this month I did forget to set this eye. I only set this eye with the powder, and when I went out, it was honestly like 95 degrees outside. This eye was perfectly in place by the time I came back in. This eye was creasing and was just separating the eyeshadow. So I find that it does make a difference. So if you're doing a fuller face of makeup with lots of eyeshadow and you are wondering why your makeup isn't lasting, maybe it's because you're not setting it, or maybe it's because you're not using a base. These two things are an essential. I don't want to be repetitive and talk about the base that I use. I'm just using the KYLIE base. Once I run out of this one, I'm probably going to try out the Anastasia one. So now for favorite palette is this baby right here. This is my Kylie Jenner palette from the summer collection. And when I saw this, I was like, I need it. It's so pretty. It just has some gorgeous colors. And to be honest, guys, when I got it, I wasn't really playing around with the colors. And I know you guys are probably gonna be like, girl, I was playing around with the neutrals a lot. I did a very neutral eye. You guys are about to see my go-to eye makeup look for this month because I just went in with matte neutrals. So I know we're not going into these fun colors. If you guys do want to see a fun, colorful eye tutorial using this palette, let me know and I will definitely do it. But I just have to stick to what I was obsessed with doing this month, and that's a neutral matte eye, which I think will be pretty beneficial for you guys because I feel like a lot of people prefer a more natural eye. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and start off with is Sure About You, which is this color right here. It's a nice neutral color. I feel like it's the perfect starting base. And we're going to just be applying that right onto our crease. And this is going to be the first color to start creating the depth in the eye sockets. You guys know that I do have my hooded eyes, so I really like to make sure that I take my time creating lots of depth into my eyeshadow, because that's what's gonna make it look like I don't have hooded eyes. And I've just been obsessed with this type of eye look. It's all I've been doing. Like, I've been doing this exact eye all month long. Really want to keep most of the intensity right in this corner. And then whatever you have left, you can kind of drag it outwards, but mainly just right here. Then we're going to be taking this color right here called Welcome Abroad, and it's a more deeper brown. And we're going to be placing that just on this outer edge. I feel like this palette just has really good transition colors, which I think is great, especially when you have such fun shimmers. I'll be taking my Delium Tools brush back and forth. We're actually going to take another palette, which is another one of my, where is it? Oh, here it is. This has been another one of my favorites. I feel like I mentioned this last month maybe. But this palette, this color right here is like heaven. So I like to use that color, but this is the Desi x Katie collab that they did with Dose of Colors. You can find this at Ulta now. So if you're looking for it and you don't want to order it online, you can get it off of Ulta. But I'm just taking that really nice, like, warm brown, just like such a beautiful brown. And I'm going to start to just apply it right here. Do you see what a difference that made? Like, it just added so much depth to this corner. And I find that when I add a lot of depth to this corner right here, it just completely changes the look of my eye. So I've really been a fan of that. And I'm just taking it from side to side. I'm going to just start to kind of diffuse it out with a big fluffy blender and kind of make all three colors become one. And don't worry too much about the colors right now because we are going to be wrapping it up. Now we're going to be going in with the color Hook in You, this one right here. And that's like a nice, like, neutral, just like almost like a vanilla color. And that color is going to go all over our lid like that. So I'm just taking it a little bit higher than where my crease folds because I don't want it to fold into my crease. And I'm leaving this edge empty because we're gonna go in with the warm color and start to, like, make it kind of smoky. I just find that matte, like, eye looks are just so easy to work with, especially in the summertime. Like, for an evening look out, it's just perfection. I'm gonna go turn on the AC and I'll be right back because it is hot. Okay, so once we have that lid color, I'm gonna go ahead and start to warm up right on this outer edge. And we're gonna be taking both of the colors from the KYLIE palette, which are Sure About You and Welcome Aboard. And we're just gonna be placing them on this outer edge and just begin to, like, warm it up all together. Then I'm gonna begin taking that nice warm color from the Desi x Katie palette that they have and adding it onto this outer corner. I just find that it creates, like, the most beautiful depth. I've just been obsessed with this eye look. And it's crazy because I feel like it almost looks like a fall time look. All these colors that I have here are colors that you guys probably already have, so it's not even like you have to go out and buy these specific palettes. But I just feel like it's such a beautiful eye look. And I'm just taking the flat brush that I used to apply the all over lid color, and I'm just going back and forth kind of and just making sure that I sharpen it, and also blending the two colors into each other because that's just very important to really have a diffused look. Okay, so I went ahead and did a nice wing liner. I did a very, very tiny wing because that's also what I've been incorporating whenever I do this eye look, just a mini wing. I feel like a really intense wing is too much. Just been obsessed with a mini wing, and this has just been my go-to eye. But what takes it to the next level is the lash I'm about to use. So this is the ARDELL Studio Effects Demi Wispy Lash. It's similar to the Demi Wispies, the traditional ones, except this one I feel like has a little bit more of a flare at the end that it kind of just gives it a little bit more drama. So this has definitely been my favorite, and I feel like this is great for beginners or even people that are advanced in makeup that like very nice full lashes, because I feel like it kind of gives you a happy medium between like a dramatic lash but also a natural lash. So for my ladies who love a natural lash, this will definitely be like an evening out lash, but it's still very nice and fun, and it's so lightweight, so you're not gonna have to worry about the lash feeling heavy or like thick, or you feel like, oh my god, this is like way too much for me. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our brow. So I do have a new brow product that I've been so obsessed with, and it just really like stood out to me, and this is another drugstore product. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is a complete dupe for the Precisely My Brow, the Anastasia Brow Wiz. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative to both of those, you need to get your hands on this NYX brow pencil. It is so nice. This one is in the color Espresso. They do have one that's like black, but I feel like I like to kind of go for a more realistic color because I feel like it makes my brow just look nice. I became obsessed with this right after I got my brows threaded a few weeks ago. And let me just tell you, if you've never gotten your brows threaded, you need to get on that, because I feel like threading really gives you such a beautiful shape and doesn't even cause you to like want to kind of like go overboard with your brow products, because it just creates that shape so beautifully. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm first going to start off by outlining my eyebrow. I feel like this brow pencil has also really allowed me to not go overboard with my brows. I feel like for a while I was just making them look way too full, and I feel like this brow pencil just does like the most precise strokes. I feel like for somebody that's just getting into brows, wants a very affordable brow pencil, this is the perfect way to go. I know this brow pencil has been out for a minute, so if you guys have been using this and I'm just new to this, I'm sorry. I just was always so obsessed with my Precisely My Brow that I just was like, never again. And I have so many backups of it, which I will eventually get to, but this has definitely become a favorite. There we have it for one eye, as you can see, all snatched. I'm gonna finish this eye off camera really quick so we can move on to the face products. Now that we completed our eyes, we are going to move on to our face, which I know you guys are so excited about, because I feel like that's kind of like what you guys look forward to the most, is me talking about foundation and primers and stuff. But first things first, I want to say this month, July, you have been a blessing, sweetie. Like, my skin has probably been the best it's ever been during the month of July, minus the way that it looks right now at the end of July, because I went to Nashville. I had one too many drinks, which if you guys know me, you guys know I don't drink. And I had a lot of food, like a lot of good, delicious, savory, hot chicken. And you guys know I'm just very like regimented. Like, I like to follow a very healthy, clean diet just because that's just the way I am. And also it really does help my rosacea a lot. So right now I do have a little bit of some texture because I did kind of fall off my train, but I'm back on it right now. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Thank you, skin. Thank you, July, for blessing me. The next thing is this primer. So this is the BECCA Ever Matte Poreless Primer, which I used to use back in the day. I want to say like 2015. I used this nonstop. It was between this and the Makeup Forever mattifying one. So good. These are excellent for people that have extremely oily skin. If you don't have very oily skin, you have combination skin, you're not going to like it because it's going to separate. And I just target it in the areas where I get very, very oily, like extremely oily, which you guys have seen that they're right here. This stuff works because there was one day that I was outside and it was probably like 96 degrees out, and I was outside for, I want to say like 2 or 3 hours. It was hot, and I typically don't like to be outside when it's that hot, especially with makeup. But I was out there and my makeup looked phenomenal. Like after I came back in, I was like, oh, this is probably gonna look so bad, but it looks so good. So I just do it on my T-zone. And in case you guys are wondering what I use on the outer parts, I use my gripping primer by Cover FX, which I mentioned last month, but these two together are like magic. But that's pretty much what I do for primer, and I just kind of let this sit on my skin for just a little bit so that it's able to really absorb into my skin. And as you can see, it did a really good job of just mattifying. And I like the fact that I do have enlarged pores in the area where I do get very oily. So it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because this is a poreless primer, but it's also mattifying primer. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the foundation that I've been obsessed with this month. This is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie. I did a review on this foundation and I really did enjoy it. The reason I like this so much is because it's such a great formula. Not only that, but you also get a pump and you get a doe foot applicator. So this foundation is supposed to be kind of like a multi-use foundation. You can use it to conceal or you can use it just as foundation. I like to use it for both. On some days when I want a more lighter makeup look, I'll just go ahead and use it as almost a concealer version with the doe foot applicator. On days where I want a full coverage, I'll use the pump, but this has been my baby. Now I did have to go through some shades to find my perfect match because I feel like I wasn't finding the perfect color for me. The one that you guys saw me use in my review, I ended up returning because I felt like it just was a little too orange for my liking. So I ended up going with TG3, and I think this is the perfect color for me. I also feel like it works as concealer, and I feel like it'll also work really well during the fall time because I am planning on using this foundation for a long time. Another thing I want you guys to know is that lately I've been really into applying my foundation with a kabuki brush, in particular this one, which is my JH03 brush, and I just love it because I feel like it gives me instant full coverage without me having to build and add too much product. So I'm just going to pat it in, and you can see, do you see how full coverage that looks? I will have my review on this foundation linked down below so you guys can check it out because I feel like it's a pretty good in-depth review. I also feel like with this foundation, it's one of those foundations that I would definitely recommend you going into Kohl's to buying it, because I feel like if you just buy it online, you're going to end up returning it and having to go back and try to figure out your shade. So if you guys haven't gotten your hands on this foundation, you need to legit get it right now. Okay, so that's the foundation on my face. As you can see, it just completely gives me this beautiful canvas. And now we can move on to the rest of the face. I do want to say concealer, I don't have a new concealer. I'm still using the same one that I've been using. This foundation just has been honestly like, ooh, everything. Sometimes I even like to mix it with my Tarte Face Tape, which is another one of my big favorites of this year. These two mixed together, very lovely situation, especially if you have more so of like normal to dry skin. I feel like if you have these two and you mix them, whew, it's great. So I'm gonna go ahead and do concealer, and then I'm gonna come back on camera and finish up the rest of the face. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our blush. So for blush, I have another favorite. This is the Wet n Wild blush. This one is in the color Floral Majority. And I have been a really big fan of Wet n Wild's like stick products, like their creamy stick products. They're really nice. I use their cream contour stick to do my nose contour, and I just love it so much. Like I've been using it nonstop for a long time now. I used to use the KKW Beauty ones, but then I stopped using those because I was like, this one is much better and it's cheaper and it's easy to get. Let me just stick to this. So when I did that video of trying new makeup, I also tested this out and I really liked it. I love the finish that it gave me, and I feel like it's just so beautiful, and you can really build it up. As you can see, it looks like that. And then I go in with my blush brush and just start to give my face life And you can see it just looks so pretty, and it blends right into my skin, and it looks beautiful on top of the foundation without really like looking too intense. But I really recommend checking this out. I feel like it's so pretty. And I just feel like I'm always stuck on the same types of blushes. Like, I love my powder blushes, but it's fun to like test out with different types of like formulas, and I feel like this is one of those formulas that's just really pretty to play with, and it gives you like a very soft look without like being too exaggerated. So I really love that blush. Okay, and so now for lips, we're going to be using, I'm so excited to talk about this lip duo. This is the SHAYLA COLOURPOP collab. This one is in Slowdown. You get the lipstick and you get the lip liner. Now, this lipstick is an ultra satin lip, which means that it's not going to be completely matte and it's not going to dry out your lips. But this, every time I use it, lasts me all day long. I've used this in several of my pictures on Instagram. It's always like my go-to lip, and I live for this lip. It's so beautiful. It's definitely a little bit more like dramatic, but I feel like it's just so perfect. Okay, so I know this looks wild, but we're about to put on the rest of the lip. This is kind of like what I like to start with. I like to line the lip, and then I like to kind of like go over the actual lip a little bit, and then I blend both the lip liner and the lipstick together. I just start off by filling in the area we don't have any lipstick on. Then I start to blend it out. Okay, and that is the completed look. As you guys can see, we went through a process to get here. But I find that these two together just work absolutely beautiful. And like I mentioned, you don't have to completely do the way that I made that lip liner look super crazy. I just like to do it that way because I feel like it creates a really pretty mixture between the lipstick and the lip liner. It creates like almost like this brownie tone nude that I feel like really flatters my face. I feel like when I just use this alone, it just looks very like muted on my skin tone. Now we're gonna move on to the very last thing today, and that is our setting spray. This is another one that I discovered more recent that you guys saw me in my video use. This is the Wet n Wild Matte Finish Setting Spray. So I tried this one and I've been using it, and I feel like it's been completely working. I also used this one that day that I was outside in like 95, 96 degree weather, and it made my makeup look phenomenal. The only thing about this is that I feel like it doesn't spritz really easily. You have to really press it down. It may be because it's a cheaper product, but always just make sure you do a test run and then you spray it all over your face. It also doesn't have the most beautiful scent, but that's why you can always get these that are really nicely scented. But I do feel like this locks in your makeup and doesn't make it budge. So if you're looking for something that's very affordable and very good for summer months and you don't want to get super duper oily through the day, great option to look into for setting spray at the drugstore that's great and affordable. So that wraps up my July favorites. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really love doing these videos because you guys get to see me use these on my face as I'm speaking about why I love them so much. I feel like it just kind of reinforces, and it also allows you to perhaps be like, ooh, I really like how that went on. Let me go ahead and try it out for myself. So if you guys did enjoy watching this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing these types of videos. Also, if you guys have any favorites that you're dying to share with me, please go ahead and share them down below in the comment section. I always love to start a conversation with you guys. You guys always give me some really good recommendations. Anytime that you guys have recommended something and I went out and bought it, I was like, yes, they know what they're talking about. So just like I hook you guys up, please hook me up with some new, because I would love to try some new products. Also, in case you're wondering, I have a lot of foundation reviews coming up, so no worries. Dose of Colors, Pat McGrath, Urban Decay, Born This Way Powder Foundation, it is all coming. So stay tuned because I have a lot of really good stuff in store for you guys in the next coming weeks. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would love for you to become a member of our family here on YouTube because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never, ever miss an upload as soon as it comes out, because I know YouTube can be a little weird sometimes, and the last thing we want is for you to come back on my channel like 2 months later and be like, oh my gosh, I missed so many videos. So make sure you hit that notification bell ASAP. ASAP means right this second. So that being said, I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.